Good morning. So, as some of you know, I work with some sports people doing yoga and things. And today we are going to work on stretches that are ideal for instance, footballers or people that have a lot of lower body activity. I'm going to do a set of stretches and exercises that will not only help prevent injury if you use them before you do your exercise, but you can also use them to acclimatise yourself if you do have an injury. We will start as usual with 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing to really create that inner fire so we don't have any injuries whilst we're doing this programme. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please like it. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, that would be amazing. And I do thank you all for your support and being patient with me as things are getting back to moving after lockdown, and I will be posting more videos soon. So we're going to do 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing, and in the final breath hold of 1 minute we're going to do a toe stretch. So we're going to turn the toes under, but this is with breath out. Sit back onto the heels, take the hands into Venus lock, open out the shoulders, and if you're comfortable, take it into a slight back bend and take the neck back. Only take the neck back like this if you are comfortable, and that will be with the breath out. So you may find the toe stretch is enough without having to do the Venus lock. It's just a nice way to open the shoulders. Okay, come lying long along your bed, your sofa, or on the floor, your mattress. Let's do round 1. 30 big belly breaths. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Breathe into the belly, the chest, the head, and then releasing. We're going to do 30 breaths this round, and the first breath hold will be for just 1 minute with the breath out. Okay, so breathe right down into that belly, then into the chest, and then take that extra sip up into the head. It's a circular motion, breathing into the belly, head, chest, and then you release it. It's a passive release. I like to think of it as the waves rushing onto the shore with 100%, 10 more breaths, 100% activity, and then as you release, it's a more passive ebb. Let the breath just go out naturally rather than force it out. We have 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. This is our final breath, and release all of this air. Close down the eyes, and this is a breath out, breath hold for 1 minute. I will cue you up with 10 seconds to go, so those of you that like to hold your breath for longer, you can pause the video at that stage. And obviously, if you did need to take a breath before, that's also absolutely fine. You also may find you don't take 30 breaths in the same time that I do, or you may take more than 30. It's all about finding your own rhythm and your own cadence. So I recommend around 30 or more, but you find your own rhythm. Breathing in through the nose or the mouth, it doesn't matter which. Okay, we've 10 seconds to go if you want to pause the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your recovery breath. Breathe in, hold it, pull up on the root lock, the stomach lock, the throat lock. Imagine you're forcing this breath up into the brain. Really pulling up on that perineum and into the abs, into the throat. Even like pushing up through the ears. And release. Well done. Let's take it straight to round 2. We'll do 35 big breaths. Breathing in and out. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Really try and lean into the sensations that you're feeling. So if you feel lightheaded or you're getting pins and needles, really focus on those feelings. They're all good. We're hyper-oxygenating the body, creating hormetic stress. So it's all quite normal and quite good to feel those things. It actually means the process is working. It is also why we only do it either lying down or sitting up, and not whilst driving, operating machinery, or near water, because obviously there is a risk of a very short blackout, but that could be very dangerous if you were in anything other than a prone, relaxed position. So imagine now you are breathing in 10 more, relaxation with each breath in. And you're going to breathe out any stress or tension. Try and make it a meditative practice. 5 more breaths. 4 more breaths. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Ready? Big breath in. And we're holding this breath as a breath out, breath hold for 1 minute 30. Again, I'll cue you up with 10 seconds to go for those that want to hold it longer. And for those that need to take a breath before, please do so and take your recovery breath, holding the breath in with full lungs for 15 seconds. Make sure the eyes are closed down at this stage. Just really lean into the sensations in the body. Do a scan, feel how the feet feel, the knees, to the thighs. Just notice the effects of the practice on the body. Sometimes you can see lights behind the eyes or noises rushing in the ears. Those are all normal. It's absolutely fine. Really embrace it and know that that's part of the process. You're doing really well. Keep going, you did super well. Really just enjoy the process. 10 seconds to go if you want to hold your breath for longer. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Hold it. Hold the breath in. Forcing this breath up into the head by tensing all the muscles from the perineum upwards. Imagine you are pushing cerebral fluid from the base of the spine up into the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, cleansing and detoxifying. And release. Amazing. Well done. Let's get straight into round 3. We're going to do 30 big breaths. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Belly, chest, head, let it go. In and out. Waving in and out. Again, you don't have to keep the same pace as I do, which is why I don't have the sound of my breathing on here, because it's really important you find your own pace. And we're only doing 30 in this round because it's only a minute breath hold. But we are going to hold that toe stretch. So on the last breath, we will come up onto the toes, onto the knees, sit back onto those toes and really stretch out the feet, beginning our yoga stretch practice. Ten more. You're doing really well. Belly, chest, head, let it go. Circular breaths. Breathing in relaxation, releasing tension and stress. We've got 4 more here. 2 more. Last one. Big breath out, and then if you're going to join me in the toe stretch, come onto the knees, turn the toes under, sit back onto those toes, and then we'll take that a little bit further if you feel up to it. We will take the hands into Venus lock behind the back, and if you are feeling particularly good around the neck today with no tightness, let the head fall back, really stretching out the thyroid and parathyroid glands, getting into the metabolism, firing the metabolism and just really building some heat and energy ready for this beautiful stretch practice. Any point you need to come out of this, obviously you could take your recovery breath. Or if the toe stretch is enough, just stay in the toe stretch. Ready? Big breath in. Hold it in, 15 seconds. Push that breath upwards, really pull up on the root lock here. Force the air up. And release. I just want you to keep the big toes together, open out the knees, and we'll take this into a child's pose. If you're struggling to sit back on your heels, you could put a cushion underneath your bottom. If it's fine, outstretch those arms, bring the forehead to the mat, and let's just enjoy this stretch in the lower back and a compression in the hips. And it's also a beautiful shoulder opener, very, very gentle. Child's pose is also very good for digestion. Just breathing here, coming back to a normal, regular breathing pattern. In and out through the nose. We'll breathe in and out through the nose for this entire practice. Okay. Then come to all fours at the front of the mat. Take the left leg out long, raise the right arm, and we're going to do thread the needle. So we're coming onto the right shoulder and the right cheek. So we're getting a twist into the side of the body and a compression into the shoulder. And a beautiful stretch down that left leg. This is getting into the psoas, and you will feel this down that left leg. We're just starting to warm up the muscles now and stretch things out. If you feel comfortable, stretch out that left arm above the head. So the stretch down the body and into the psoas and the lateral side of the body is more comprehensive. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. I want you to just keep breathing in and out through the nose. Raise that arm high, the right arm high. Bring that left leg in. Take the right leg out, foot facing forward, stamp down on the floor. Raise the left arm high. Post it beneath the right. And we'll take thread the needle on the other side. So this time we're on the left cheek, the left shoulder, the right arm stretched out over our heads, and the right leg is stretched out. This is a beautiful twist in the body as well as a compression. There's quite a lot going on. It's also a lower back stretch, a bit of a back bend. We really are just going to try and cover all the bases with this practice, so everything in the body feels worked. Raise that left arm back high, come back to all fours. We're just going to take some very simple cat-cows. So when we breathe in, we're going to arch the back, take the head back. And as we breathe out, we're going to round the back into a cat stretch. So we breathe in, arch, breathe out, cat stretch. So what I want you to do, if you are comfortable, take the head with you into the sternum as you round and take it as a back bend as you breathe in. Make sure you're not collapsing into those shoulders. It's really important. Find your own pace with your own breath, breathing in and out. And as you do, either arch as you breathe in or round as you breathe out. Okay, well done. Come back to stillness on all fours. And then come to the front of the mat and take a cross-leg pose. Raise the arms high as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, lean over to the left-hand side, taking a stretch in the lateral side of the body. Keep your heart open here, open up to the sky and the ceiling. Don't collapse into it and keep your head and neck in line. So we're not folding forwards or leaning backwards. Keep both sitting bones on the floor. And then twist over that left shoulder, taking the right hand to the left knee. Breathe in as you lengthen and out as you twist a little bit more. Breathe in to centre and we'll take that side stretch to the side. Again, opening the body, opening the heart as though you were up towards the ceiling, not collapsing forwards. Again, keep both sitting bones on the floor so we get the full extent of the stretch. Then take the left hand to the right knee and get it over the right shoulder. Getting a beautiful twist, breathing in as we lengthen. And as we breathe out, you can twist a little bit more. Come back to centre. And then take the left leg long and keep the right foot into the left thigh. Do a counter twist over the right shoulder, left shoulder, and then we're again taking a side stretch, a little bit deeper this time. So the left elbow's on the floor, the right arm's raised above the head, again keeping the heart open, and keep your knee facing upwards, your foot flexed back, so we're working right down into that ankle. Then face that foot completely and fold over. If you can't reach your foot, it doesn't matter. You may use a strap if you want to. or just come down to where you can. It's not, the important thing is we're not collapsing the shoulders into it. We're imagining we're going to reach the nose for the knee. And then fold, come up right, and then fold forwards. So we're getting a stretch into that, the lower part of your hamstring on the left leg. This is quite a tricky one to work out, so it's a very, very nice stretch. If you can't fold all the way to the floor like me, which does take time, you can use a cushion or a bolster to lean onto. I'd recommend using a cushion or a strap throughout this practice if you need it. Okay, let's take those to the other side. The left foot comes into the right thigh, counter twist over the left shoulder, and then take that left arm high, and then fold sideways to get the stretch into the lateral side, keeping the right knee and the right foot pointing upwards, so we're really working right down into that heel. This is a great stretch. Now face that foot and fold over it. If you can't reach it again, you can use a strap or just fold to where you can. I just don't want you to be pulling or forcing with the shoulders. Come upright and then fold forward over the middle. Again, getting into that lower hamstring area on the right leg, just above the knee on the inside. It's a really tricky place to stretch, and this seems to do the job more than beautifully. Breathe in as you come up. Well done. Okay, now I want you to take the right foot to the outside of the right thigh. Now you can either keep the left foot long along the mat, or you can bend it and you can come onto your elbows or a bolster. And if you're feeling particularly funky, then come onto your back. So you're getting a slight back bend. And if you're feeling even funkier, then you can stretch that left leg long. So we're really getting into the right quad here. Also getting a nice stretch in the upper torso if you come back. But if you can't come back onto the back, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get that amazing quad stretch. Just remember to breathe as well. It's really important to breathe during this process to get the fullness of the to really experience the benefits. You need to keep breathing. Let's take that the other side. So the left foot comes out to the outside of the left thigh. You can either bend the right knee in or take it long along the mat and either come to your elbows or a bolster. You can stay upright if it's too much, or come back onto the shoulders, slight back bend, and take the arms above the head. Just go to where you're comfortable. Even just sitting up in this pose, you are going to get a strong quad stretch. So that's all good. And don't forget to breathe. In and out through the nose. Okay, then I'd like you to come up to sitting. And we're going to take a half splits pose. So the left foot's going to come out long. Turn the foot back towards you. You're on your right knee, keeping some weight over that. And I want you to take your right hand or a strap, put it around the left foot, and just gently, so you fold that foot inwards. So you're getting a stretch into the outside of the heel. Now I have found working with footballers, that is an injury. They get sore heels quite a lot, and Achilles, and sore feet and sore ankles. So this really seems to help. But don't force it. It's a gentle turning of the foot inwards to get a gentle stretch. Okay, then point the foot, then flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. You should feel this right down into the top of that foot and then into the Achilles. Okay, let's take those on the other side. So the right foot comes out long, turn the foot up, And then either take your strap or your hand, and we're just going to turn that foot inwards, gently turned, not twisting or forcing, and then fold over that right leg to really extend into this stretch. You should feel that all up the outside of the right ankle. And if it's sore, as in pins and needles sore or sharp sore, then ease off the stretch. If it's just achy, it means it's working. Okay, now point, flex that foot, point it, flex it, point, flex. We're trying to lengthen any boxy calf muscles now. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Well done. Okay, now we're going to come lying on your tummies on the mat. And we're going to take opposite hand to opposite leg. So the right hand is going to stretch back, reach for the left foot, and I want you to raise everything off the mat. So the chin is off the mat, and the leg and the shoulder is off the mat. And bring your left hand to the base of your spine. I'm holding mine in Gyan Mudra, which is a nice peaceful mudra to do during yoga practice. And just keep breathing. And bring it back down the mat and change sides. So this time the left hand reaches for the right leg, and then raise the chin off the mat and raise that leg off the mat. Really getting a good stretch across the body. So getting into the psoas. There's quite a lot happening in here. Okay, let that come down and then raise the hands up underneath the shoulders into a cobra. Do not drop into those shoulders. Really push up from the floor, up through the hands, in, and take the head back if you're comfortable. Trying to sink the hips towards the mat. And then come back onto all fours, and we're going to push up into a downward dog and find some movement. Remember, it's a V shape, not a C shape. I want to see your head with no weight in it. The feet are hips width apart, and just pedal out those legs. Remember to push up through the shoulders, not collapse into them. Just find stillness now in your dog. Keep breathing, remember. In and out through the nose. Working the legs towards straight and the heels towards the floor. The heels slightly turned in. And then come into pigeon pose. So the right knee to the right hand. And we'll take a quad stretch here. So take the left foot with the left hand. If you can, gaze over the left shoulder. That's great. If you can't, gaze forwards. And we'll just get into that. It's a really, really nice quad stretch before we come into swan pose and pigeon. Okay, let go of the foot and then it fling back. Come into swan and then fold forward onto the mat, either onto a cushion or a bolster or onto your arms like myself. And we'll just breathe into this pigeon pose. This is one of the most important poses you can do if you are a footballer or a rugby player or someone that does a lot of running, changing directions, or you're into your athletics. This is a must, this stretch. It's very, very beautiful. Okay, come back up and breathe in, and then we're going to push back into that downward dog. And again, just find some stillness, no weight in the head. It's a slight back bend. The heart is opening towards the floor. Feet, heels slightly turned in. And we'll take the pigeon on the other side. So left knee to the left hand. Take hold of the right foot this time, the right foot with the right hand. And we'll gaze over that shoulder if that's comfortable. And we'll take that quad stretch before we do pigeon. Okay, let it go. Don't let it fling back. Swan pose, breathe in. And breathe out, fold forward either to your bolster, a rolled up mat, a cushion, or onto your arms. And let's just breathe into this pigeon. Really let the compression of the body weight open out that hip. Such a beautiful pose. Remember, this is a hip squared, a hip closed pose. So both hips should be squared to the front of the mat. So we're not collapsing to one side or the other. You should be able to hold both hands in the air and keep your balance. Then you know that you have square hips. Okay. Come sitting at the front of your mat, and we're going to open those legs out for a wide leg pose. And we're going to do a Kundalini Kriya exercise to realign any hips. So we're going to breathe in and bend over the left leg, then into the middle, then into the right. So breathe in as you come up and breathe out as you fold down. And it's quite rapid. So breathe in, bend, bend. Find your own pace though. So breathe in and then bend over the left, the middle, the right, the left, the middle, the right. And this will help realign any hips that are just slightly out. And it's quite a rigorous movement. If you can manage that, that'd be great. Okay, then come to centre. Just find some stillness. Make sure you're sat on your sitting bones, sit up tall, and then just fold forward into that stretch, really getting into the groin here. Keep breathing, remember. Because as you breathe in, you can just lengthen a little bit, and as you breathe out, you can fold a little bit more. Okay, then come back up to sitting. And we're going to take a low squat, Malasana. You can either take a cushion. If your heels can't reach the floor, put a cushion beneath them. It's really important here that the weight is in the heels. So you can use a cushion if your heels won't reach the floor. Then use your elbows to open out the groin a little bit more. We're getting a beautiful stretch in the groin, across the glutes, and up into the back, into the lower back, across the sides. It's very, very beautiful. A compression in the knees and in the hamstrings. It's a really, really, also, I would say, a must for people who do lots of sports. Malasana garland pose is an absolute key pose in yoga. Okay, then sit back onto your bottom. And then roll back onto your back. And we are going to take happy baby pose. So take the outside of your feet through either side of your knees. And if you're feeling nice and stretchy, you can stretch one leg out on the other to get a last stretch into those hamstrings and into the feet. So the feet are flexed back. The lower back is glued to the mat. And now just find some movement, rocking from side to side in this happy baby pose. Really getting a compression in those hips now. Then bring the hands to goalpost or T and rock them over to the left-hand side of your mat. Gazing over the right shoulder. The right shoulder is glued to the mat. Getting a beautiful twist the whole way down the body. Okay, bring them back to centre and take them the other side. So the knees come over to the right, you gaze over the left shoulder glued to the mat. Remember to keep breathing to this pose. Each time you breathe out, you just get a little bit more twist. Not forcing, it's quite a passive, beautiful, one of my favourite poses in yoga, to be honest. Okay, now then bring the soles of the feet together in Buddha Konasana or butterfly pose, cobbler's pose. You get a slight back bend here as the bottom stays on the mat. The shoulders are on the mat, open. And just breathe, and then breathe out through the mouth. Just cleansing breath. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Beautiful. Just a nice cleansing breath. And now just find your own rhythm of breathing. Letting gravity pull those knees open as we get our final stretch of the practice. Just notice the body, any work, as it integrates now. And then bring those knees together. Roll up to sitting and join me at the front of the mat with crossed legs. Or half lotus or full lotus, whatever floats your boat. And I'd like you to bring your hands together. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the divine light within you guide your way on. From my heart to yours. Sat Nam. Namaste. Rahe Guru.